It's Skithrix time once again. This time I'm playing against Wizard 103. This will be the last game in this series of 1v1 games that I played back in June. This guy I've been playing a bunch lately, and this time he's with Tajik Blade of the Legions, red-white Boros commander with this battalion ability. This guy's obviously very much like tier 3 general. You don't see him very often, certainly not in too many decks. It can put a lot of pressure on you if they get a fast draw with a Soul Ring or something, like many decks, and are able to swarm you early with that ability. But most of the time, it's just a very expensive 2-2 that doesn't really affect the board state a lot. And I'm playing Skithrix. As you know, I have a totally unplayable draw here, so I'm going to be mulliganing for sure. I mulligan into a serviceable hand, not particularly good, but it does have Map and Mind Twist, as well as the turn 1 Duress. So I do have the ability to Mind Twist for a substantial amount of cards pretty early, right around the time when his general should be coming online. And it might be enough to cripple him, and he's also mulliganing. Alright. Scrying Mind Shatter, certainly at the bottom. Do not need that. Alright, what you got, Wizard? Foothills into Foundry and done. Alright, cool. It's going to be a slower game. Should give me time to develop here without really being under too much pressure. Brain Spoil, not the best card right now. Alright, what do you got there? Chaos Warp, Spear, and 3 land. Alright then, well, we'll take away the... Looks like the Chaos Warp's going away, as that's certainly excellent against Skithrix. I'm definitely not worried about the bad Incinerate. Alright. Just plays a land that says done. Alright, we really need to draw a third land to get going here. Oh, and that is a third land right there. Wow, perfect. That allows me to get the to use my expedition map right now, which is fantastic. I'm going to go get Urborg, of course, because it makes these more clunky lands also produce black mana. Looking pretty good now. Oh, Ancient Tomb. Okay, well, that's fine. We know his hand is basically junk. It has a Searing Spear and at least 2 mystery cards that he's drawn the last 2 turns, since he had that land in hand, or both those lands when I duressed him. So Mind Twist is definitely going to be the most prudent course of action here, no matter what I draw, pretty much. I don't think there's any card I would play over Mind Twist at this point if I drew it. Alright, I'll play another Swamp. I'm going to twist him for 3. Hopefully clear out anything dangerous. We get that land we saw, one of the mystery cards, and the Spear. So he's down to just 1 card. So I'm figuring at this point there's no possible way that this guy can claw his way back into the game. I'm going to have Skithrix out next turn, and all he's got is a dorky 2-2. And then this happens. Post-combat Armageddon. Brutal. Dropping me down. Fortunately, I've got the Urborg still in my hand. I didn't play it last turn, obviously, as there was no reason to do that. But that is pretty brutal. And now, though he's down to 0 cards in hand, and I've got obviously a card lead, he does have a nasty creature on board. And if he draws into a couple of small weenie creatures to go with this guy, I could be under an unbeatable amount of pressure. So I got to top deck some stuff in short order. Vampiric Tutor. Alright, deck. That's how we deliver. Alright, let's see what he's up to. He draws another land off the top. So he's sitting pretty over there. Alright, so no question I'm tutoring end of turn here. And the question is what to get. There are the choices. I'll give you a couple of seconds if you're interested to decide what you think might be best at this point in the game. Mana Crypt obviously very tempting. Soul Ring tempting. And but the problem is that none of those actually... Not only do they not really get me out of the situation, I mean, I guess there's sort of a roundabout way I could go. If I get Crypt, let's say, I can play the Crypt, I can play the Cavern of Souls and transmute Dimmer Houseguard into something like Thran Dynamo, and play the Dynamo, and then play my Skithrix. But that is a very slow course of action that is dependent on him not drawing Artifact Kill. It's dependent on him not drawing more creatures to put me under pressure. There's a lot of things that, or a lot of ways, I should say, that could go wrong. Crucible is not a bad choice either, though that requires me to draw another land. And ultimately I decide to take the most direct route to victory, and that is this card, Mana Vault. Kind of strange to play it, but I know that no matter what I draw off the top of my deck, if I play Mana Vault next turn, I will be able to cast Skithrix the turn afterward and start the pressure on him. I'll also have 2 black mana to regenerate it thanks to the Urborg. And I feel like given the way his board state is, the fact that he does only have 2 mana in play, unless he gets supremely lucky, that should be a surefire route to victory. So I'm going to go with that. As soon as this thing lets me do that. There we go. All right. Play the Mana Vault and done. And of course I have other circuitous redraws depending on what happens. The Brain Spoil will transmute into the Draw 5 card, the Entwine Promise of Power card, if I draw another land, which is another potential way to deal with the board state if the dragon, in fact, turns out to not be the best play based on what happens. All right. Blade of the Legion hits me for 2 more, and he's done. All right. Now, drawing a land here would be even better, because I would be able to attack for 4. I got Arena. I'm certainly not playing that right now. My Uncounterable Dragon to play around his Mana Tithe. That's right, buddy. You're not Mana Tithing that. I'm just joking. He probably doesn't have it in his deck. All right. Well, Skithrix can sure outrun Tajic. Serra Ascendant. Damn, that is a big problem. Given that I'm at 28, he can attack me for 8 per turn with these 2 guys. I'd still outrun it at least and can probably force a block. But it could be tight if he draws another creature. Ugh, another really huge clunky spell that I can't play. This is obviously a big problem with mono black. It just has a lot of expensive spells in it, and if anything happens with your lands, either Winnow Orb or obviously Armageddon or the Johnny Vengeant or something, you can just start drawing tons of stuff you can't cast. But I cannot sit around, obviously, against this board state. Skithrix is not a blocker. He is an attacker. And I'm hoping this guy might actually not realize that I have regeneration. He might just block. And sure enough, he does. So I can regenerate, shrink his dork down to just a 2/2 lifelink. A lot less intimidating. Mana Crypt, what the hell? Oh my goodness, look at this. Arashan Foremost, double strike. Fortunately, this guy's not, it's not a warrior. It looks very warrior-like, but it's a soldier, not a warrior. I guess warrior's a little more rustic. I'm getting hit for 4. Next time I'm getting hit for a boatload, because this thing's going to hit for 4, and that's going to hit for 2, and it's going to hit for 7. What is that, 13 damage? Yeah, 13. Crazy. But Skithrix does his nasty thing. All right, I'm going to sign in blood for sure here. I don't think there's any reason to keep mana around to regenerate. The odds that he draws something that destroys Skithrix with white Mana Crypt are pretty low. Look at that. Liliana and Mana Crypt of my own. I don't think I could have envisioned, if I had stacked my deck, literally, I don't think I could have envisioned 2 better cards to draw off the top in this board state. It's crazy. Alright, this crypt does nothing to him. He draws another land. Here comes a horrendous amount of damage. Yeah, that's 13. Smash. Down to 7. So facing lethal. But fortunately, due to my deck coughing up the goods and more, I just play that, no reason to sack it. Play Liliana. Pump the dragon to 7/7 infect. Death. And that is the game. I thought this game was worth recording just because it was neat to come back from the Armageddon that way. And I think that Vampiric Tutoring, obviously the decision of the game was what to tutor for, and I think the Mana Vault, absolutely the right call there. I don't think that another card would have allowed me to get as much pressure going as quickly as possible, especially given that he drew into Serra Ascendant. If I was just a turn slower, this game, you see my life total, it would have completely changed how I could have gone about playing it, and I probably would have lost. So very glad to have won that game, and hope you enjoyed it. I have a very cool game coming up next. See you guys soon.